All right, good morning. And if you're just tuning in, well, you're listening to Inspiration FM 92.3, and this is Rethinking Lagos show here on your family station, Inspiration 92.3 FM. My name is Stanley Uche, by the way. And in the studio with me, I have Mr. Jide. Good morning.
Hey, hi, Stan.
Yeah, I'm good. And it's cold outside. It's raining as well.
Yeah, it's a rainy day.
Yeah, and you know you know how they say that when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
And look at it. Today we'll be talking about flooding.
Yes, today we're talking about flooding. It's been a very, very tough week for Lagosians.
Yes.
The traffic has been crazy, flood everywhere. It's been raining, and I think we just have to speak to the situation as it is right now.
Yes.
And it's quite sad. It's not very much a good development that we are faced with all these challenges.
Yeah.
In the face of climate change and the present day realities of what's going on. And people are screaming and shouting and like, okay, we're spending hours in traffic, Lekki is flooded.
Even when you get home, you get to scoop water away from your living room or even your room.
Yeah. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Lagos is identified as one of the top 20 port cities most at risk of coastal flooding by 2017, and Lagos is ranked 15th globally as at 2007. So Lagos is a coastal state, and so this is likely very much to happen from time to time.
Yeah.
But what is necessary is, as a people, what's our response to the situation? What are we doing to mitigate against all of this? The strong possibility of we experiencing flooding all over and around Lagos. And today, much later on in the program, after my introduction, I have in the studio with us members of a community called the Adeniji-Adele estate. This is one estate that is strongly being threatened by flooding right now. The buildings are on the verge of probably collapsing right now.
Wow.
And,
not a pretty sight.
Not a pretty sight at all. We've done something about that online. If you join us on our Facebook page, Rethinking Lagos, you'll see the pictures of the estate, and the present state is a sorry sight.
Yeah, you showed me something. That's the estate we're talking about, right?
Yes. Okay, you watched it on VR.
Yeah. And I won't even let my kids grow up there. Personally, that's me talking now, because we were talking about flooding now. When it rains, it pours, and after it stops raining, you see empty sachet water, plastics, and all that. And even now, we have the takeaway packs, everywhere as well. You see them pink, green, blue. Yeah. Now, when you go, Mama,
when you go to buy food,
go to buy food, and they give that stuff to you. You take it away, you go home, you eat it, and you just straight away. And it was really a sorry sight. And I'm looking like, and you tell these kids that they'll be leaders tomorrow. How would they survive till they become leaders in the first place? Because when you look at that estate, you're talking about people leave.
Yeah.
You see drainages, dirty water around, and I know the smell there will be horrible.
Yes, speaking concerning drainages in Lagos, that's a big problem that's been responsible for a whole lot of flooding. So our housing development planning has not taken into serious cognizance the importance and the need for good drainage systems. So Lagos actually has a drainage master plan, that's actually that spans over a period of 25 years up to 2040, that provides a clear guideline for how drainages should be planned in the state. But and the plan is actually broken into 5 phases, and according to the plan, Lagos actually requires like a sum of 20 billion naira annually needed to implement each phase. For the drainage master plan to actually work. But we've not done well in terms of funding for this. So Lagos averagely annually spends barely just 500 million naira on planning our drainages. So there's a a serious funding gap, and lack of commitment to. We're just building, and no commitment to the drainage master plan for the state. Which is something that we seriously need to look at, and also discussing the estate again. We'll see how urban planning failures is responsible for a whole lot of things. So you have housing development going all around Lagos, but it's having its effect on the people in terms of how do we direct the flow of water. So we have situations whereby people are building on wetlands, and everywhere you go, you see land reclamation, land is being reclaimed. But where will the water flow?
Some even building on waterways as well, which is really dangerous.
Yes, which is really, really, really dangerous. But just as so that it's not like, okay, you're just talking theoretically or vaguely. So that's why we're specifically trying to today. I'm trying to let us boil down on a particular location, which is the Adeniji-Adele estate. And as a matter of introduction, Adeniji-Adele estate is a low-income housing development estate with over 120 residential blocks of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms apartment, and they're in 4 phases. The estate is very strategically located between Ikoyi, VI, and Lagos mainline. It actually provides a physical access to upscale social and economic infrastructure within the heartland of the city. The estate was built in 83 by the then civilian governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Adeyemi. And it was a premium, lovely. I mean, that was where to live. You understand? And it's like your Lekki of today.
Imagine that.
You understand? That was where everybody wanted to reside.
And people now start asking questions, what happened?
What happened? So the more reason why it's necessary for us to begin to look at this estate is the fact that then it was our Lekki.
Yeah.
Now, what is happening to the estate right now? Is it likely to happen to the present day Lekki?
Well, some people argue with you that, it's already happening.
It is already happening.
Yeah, talking about flooding right now. When you talk about flooding, you talk about Lekki, you talk about Aja.
People are still living in Lekki, but right now the estate has become inhabitable for people. Like you rightly said, you can't imagine allowing your children to live there.
Yeah. So
it is to speak to our future, in relations to how we are planning for today. So it is not just meeting the need for today, but also
future as well.
Looking at the future. So I have in the studio with us here this morning members of residents of the estate. I have with us here in the studio Alhaji Tukur, is the president of the chairman of the Residents Association, and also Alhaji Anifowose. You're welcome, and also Pastor Akinwunmi, Akinleye. You're all welcome to the program, please. Yeah. So tell me, sir, from Alhaji Anifowose, what's the present situation right now in the estate? It's raining right now. What's the present condition?
Present condition is bad, very, very bad. Maybe Yusuf come and visit that place. It's no good for human beings live.
Wow.
Now, we get our children. My what do you call it? My children's come and visit me for holidays.
Holiday, okay.
I say no come on. That place is no good for younger people. They leave me for that place. After I come out for that place.
Well, what was the residents? How did they the ownership structure? How did you come about when the estate was built? What was your plan? What kind of people actually lived there originally? Who were those that purchased houses in that estate as far back as the 80s?
Yes. Now, our governor, former governor of Jakonde, he gave us small cadres, like level 1 to 7.
Oh, so like the government officials.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the only government officials.
Even
Like junior cadres.
junior cadre. Okay.
Come and live for the places the richer people come and live.
Yeah. So this was going to be your retirement plan.
Yes.
Okay.
I came for stay for that place for maybe I get good area. During the times the floodings happen now, I go find my way to another place because that place no good for human beings again.
Okay, Pastor Akinwunmi.
Let me just take it from me.
Okay. So you, Alhaji Tukur, so what would you say is responsible for the present situation?
I will
right
tell
now?
you the problem there. To me, it's a man-made problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the government, they know our problem. If they are not deceiving ourselves.
Okay.
As you really said, when we first parking there, in fact, you love to live there. It's just like this, your present Lekki. You understand me? Everything there is very, very okay. Suddenly, we live there for a good 30 to 40 years before this thing started. You understand me? Now, at the other end there, where we call Ilubiri, yes.
House in Eston.
you know, at least we study little geography. You know, when water rises,
Yeah.
water will find its level.
Yes. Correct.
This water spread all those areas. You understand me? Eventually, government just jumped down there. They started pumping sand there.
Sand filling.
They started raising the place up. It's that time we started with this problem. Because the water has to descend back to us.
Okay.
Because where we're supposed to spread to, the government has taken over it. That's why I say the problem there is a man-made problem.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Now, if you know this area we're talking about, you can also call us up and let us know precisely where you need to let us in on concerning this area. Remember, it is, what's the name of the estate again?
Adeniji-Adele estate.
Yes, that's the estate we're talking about this. But if you know that estate very well, you can call us up and say, look, this is where I know when I went there visiting, or you even leave there presently as we speak. Call us up 0700 923 923 923. That is 0700 923 923 923. Or send a message to 0817 313 6193. All right.
Then,
What efforts have you?
thank you very much. Then, that time, we put up series of letters notifying the government of our problem.
Okay.
This problem is a surface problem.
Yeah.
But who are we? We are low-income earners. They neglected us. Because if that time we have been putting letter, something is done, all this problem will not come today.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, we lost almost 2 of our children on this problem. They went to the school. Coming back home, the parents are expecting them that my children is coming. Then the school closed it. They don't see them. It was in the evening. Somebody was just passing by. He saw them floating
Oh my, oh my.
inside gutter. The school uniform make the person to know what is happening. Who is that getting there? So it's the body they are looking for.
Okay, so I had actually on our Facebook page, we had put up the pictures of the estate, and people were asking like, the people need to take responsibility. And from what I know, you've actually made effort to get developers to actually work on the estate, and a proposal was presented to the former administration. Well, how did that go?
Then the government, they make visitation by themselves.
Okay.
To see the situation of the estate.
Yeah.
Because all this flooding make the estate to be derailing.
Okay.
Because most of the houses now, I think you go there, it's like this.
Yeah.
Because
the buildings are lopsided.
they are exactly. Then when they visit the place, they see themselves that this place is not habitable again.
Yeah.
It's not habitable. That they now conclude that they have to the money you own area, I developed it.
Okay, yeah.
That was then. Because Fortuna came to the estate on one Sunday. Because
You spoke with him.
yeah, exactly. It's an open talk. You understand me? And the man promised that, no, this is not fit for human being. They have to redevelop it. Then we are beyond the process. In fact, I don't need to tell you. When we are fed up, we have to go to court. We are still in the court. Because the man openly said, we are not taking your properties.
We just want to.
He said, we want to serve as a developer to develop it. But we have series of meetings with the agent in charge, that is Lazura. You understand me?
That's the Lagos State Agency for Urban
Exactly. We have series of meetings with them. But keep on promising us that something will be done. How long until we die finish?
Well, I'm looking at the area view of this estate.
Yeah.
Wonderful sight to behold.
Yeah.
Well mapped out and everything.
Yes.
But when you go closer, you look at the houses there. My oh my.
Yeah, they're on the verge of collapse.
I'm telling you.
So when you talk about collapsed buildings and the menace, this is a clear case of negligence and neglect. So are we waiting for us to have
disasters to strike?
For us to have breaking news, and it also speaks to just how, like he rightly said, so there is this development, at the Ilubiri housing estate development that is going on presently, which had land reclaimed. So is actually pushing back water into
the
estate. So this is the reason why we're talking about this is how are we planning? You understand? When something or somewhere needs to be preserved, so you have a wetland, you have a wetland somewhere, and somebody just goes and starts sand filling. This thing will have its own future consequence on the environment, and that is what we're seeing in the case of this estate. So, what would you actually like I don't know. I think I already know, but I just have to ask you that way. What would you want the government to do for you?
It's to redevelop that place. That is the only option. There's no repair they can carry out there.
Now, if you say redevelop the whole estate, that means taking people away from the estate so they can develop.
But I agree with the government. You understand me? Because when this thing, we have phase 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
You see, now, we have phase 1 extension. In fact, that one almost collapsed. We have to go and shout to the government. Then the government, they promised that now, if you get to that phase 1, you see a big signboard erected there by the government.
So let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Hello. Well, we lost that one. Call us back if you can. 0700 923 923 923. That is 0700 923 923 923 or 081 7313 6193. That's you can send a message there, text message there, or call us 0700 923 923 923. Go ahead.
Now, government assembly came there. That was fashion directive there. Erected a very big signboard notifying we and the outsiders that place has to go on development.
Okay.
Understand me?
Let's try this other line. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? Right, when you call, just turn down the volume on your radio set so we can have a decent conversation. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, just obey rule number 1. Turn down the volume on your radio set. All right.
Yes. No, I think the government directed the commissioner dead. That commissioner was something I did that demanded a lot. Because the man keep on having series of meetings with us.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Charles, calling from Magboro.
All right, Mr. Charles, let's have your thoughts.
Yes, I want to know which estate are you talking about? Because I've been listening to you now. You have not mentioned the name of the estate.
Adeniji-Adele
Housing estate.
or Adeniji housing estate. Adeniji-Adele housing estate.
Adele housing estate.
Yeah. So when you're descending from Third Mainland, coming from the mainland, after Third Mainland, it's to your left, hand side.
Just want to follow the program. That's it.
Yeah. So I understand. So There is the popular Illuminary housing estate that you see to the left hand side. Just right behind it is the estate.
Yes,
You
of course.
understand? So that's where it's
Of
located.
course, what is really happening to that estate? I don't think it's peculiar to that estate alone.
It's not. It's
You
not.
need to you need to visit a lot of all these Jakonde housing estates, around Lagos State. They are all in a very deplorable state. I don't know what the solution would be, but all those estates, I guess, are appalling. Just I pray for them. I pray for them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I think for the Jakonde estate, I think it's in two parts pretty much. There is the issue of Jakonde estates generally having a challenge with management, but for the purpose of this discussion, we're very much concerned about areas and locations that are low income locations that are threatened by flood. There's also another estate that I've been to. It's called Divine Estate, very close to popular Dustbin Estate, whereby you have drainages. You now have drainages that have been totally blocked by waste, or even plants have started growing there, and every day people in their houses, they can't. So we are very familiar on social media with leaky and water entering into people's houses, but we have lots more neglected low income communities also affected by this problem. So it's a problem for all.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Okay, my name is Kay. I'm calling from Uche.
All right, so let's have your thoughts.
Okay, what I was following, and I really feel that for your guest that's been relaying all that happened in his estate. What I just want to share is two thoughts to deal with next. I think to a large extent, when we look at it holistically, government has an agenda to take Lagos to be a mega city. Now, that's on one side. And on the other side, there is this challenge of availability of land. So areas within the city center that are, how will I put it, maybe substandard to the agenda of Lagos. It's no better that, in fact, it's not that Adeniji that is happening. On the other side of the spectrum, at Yado Wuro, there's another level of sand filling that's been done.
Yeah.
Affecting, those the community on the right hand side were expanding the northern land. So when we look at all these things, there's nothing we can really say that government should come and do this. It's an agenda. They want to, there's an English word for it called gentrification, whereby low income areas are to a large extent made unlivable, whereby government can now come in and now build higher end housing. So that's how I want us to look at it.
So let me get you clearly. Are you saying that the agenda is in order?
It isn't, but that's what is going on.
Okay.
That's why despite several meetings, nothing has been done, to palliate their pain.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing.
So, of course, urbanization, the city is expanding. More and more people are coming into the city. The numbers depends on who is quoting. Some people say 70, 80 people every minute coming to Lagos. So there is, like you rightly said, so there is this quest. Let's take the call.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Okay, Jenny from Spirit.
All right, go ahead, talk to us.
I wanted to contribute to your show.
Go ahead.
The last caller was talking about the agenda of the Lagos State, reclaiming land and all of that. I just wanted to clarify. Mega city doesn't necessarily have to do with reclamation of land. I believe a mega city has to be something like upscaling rather than expanding. Upscaling, what do I mean? Upscaling our facilities. We're talking about drainages here.
Yeah.
If we spend or we do what we are supposed to do as regards drainages, it can take us light years ahead. We don't necessarily have to think reclamation. I think that reclamation of the thing is a faulty premise. It needs to be addressed. Okay. Reclamation is not the answer to mega city. Let us upscale in terms of the facilities, in terms of our drainages, in terms of transportation, opening up our transportation system and making life livable for people in Lagos State.
Thank you.
Because this issue, like rightly said, is not peculiar to this estate alone. But it's good that you have brought it out so that everybody knows what is happening. The environmental assessment was done. Obviously, the government was advised on the adverse effect of reclaiming Ilubiri. But they tended to do what? To ignore that advice. Why?
All right.
We have to start thinking sustainability, please. We can't continue like this.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I agree with her. She said, look, we should fix our drainage system. And that's one thing we can achieve.
Yeah, that's what
it will be easier to now look into other sectors and develop them.
That's what I was trying to address at the beginning, talking about the substantial funding gap. So, so the funding for drainages lie with the federal, state, and the local government. Everybody brings in a certain amount. It's sad that in 2015 there was not actually any budgetary spend on drainages in Lagos,
and that's poor for a state like Lagos.
That's poor. Over the years from 2011 to 2012, budgetary performance on drainages has been falling. And as far back as 2016, we can't even find data on how much.
Is that the thing is not important to fix the system? Talking about the drainage system in Lagos.
Well, we have a new administration, and we have a special advisor who is a very popular man, Mr. Sam, I believe. I need to get his name correctly, But he's an appeal to government that we like she rightly said. Well, to clarify, Lagos is a mega city by population.
Yes.
But what the goal of the government is to make it a model mega city. And
not just population now, infrastructure.
So because it's a mega city, you have to start planning in quote mega terms, development. But how should we plan this development is what we should be talking about. Sustainability, like you said, environmental impact assessment was done for Ilubiri housing estate. It was ignored. Now they are suffering for it. You understand? The same thing is happening across Lekki and all of that.
Ajah is getting worse by the day.
So it is high time for us all to begin to speak up. We had proposed and I said the drainage master plan for each area. People who live in areas, make these things public. Let us know where needs to be, where do we need to protect, where are the wetlands, where is it that sand filling of any sort shouldn't happen. So when people begin to develop illegally, whether with government permit or without government permit, we can begin to question them. But in speaking to the situation in Adeniji-Adele right now, it is very, very important, and with several other estates like that, for the government to step in to clear the estate of its waste. I saw a particular news report that the estate has been cleared, and I had to call them and congratulations,
something's going on,
and they are here. Your estate has been cleared.
Notice cleared there.
It's something that warrants a whole lot of public attention, and several estates. I think we ran out of time.
Yes.
As usual, so we just appeal to the government to please come into their help and let us address this issue and several other estates like this around Lagos.